Gavin Noble, chef de mission. What is the role of chef de mission?
It's a good question. I think it was one my mum asked me not so long ago, and I replied. I write a lot of emails, and those emails I guess started almost 7 months ago now. And what we see in a championship is the week. We see the week of performance, but there's a lot of planning and work that goes into actually getting people on the planes, getting people accredited. When I was an athlete, I got handed my little accreditation with my photo on it, and I thought nothing of it. But I definitely now have more respect and understanding of what it goes to get a big team to a big event. And then in my mind, if everything's gone well and it's been perfect, and when we arrive and the organisation is perfect, I become a super fan and I just go around events and I'm the number one supporter. But if that's a perfect world, and these big multi-sport events, this is not a perfect world. So I guess in my role, games time, it's about putting support where support's needed. Sometimes we have experienced staff, sometimes we have inexperienced staff. It's to try and fill creatively, overcome obstacles sometimes that's in our way, but it's definitely to empower a team of people to do good work. And I think this time, especially at an EYOF, I was fortunate enough to have a really solid team, a HQ team, even from communications in the back there, in the background, covering all our journeys. But it's been fortunate that through the institute staff now, we're really confident now going into a games that this person across medical, physio, Eamonn Flanagan, who was deputy chef de mission this time, I knew that if I wasn't in the room, the job could still get done, and that's really important. Our HQ team this time was, it was an open discussion on how we find a solution. Sometimes I didn't even have to say much in the room. Sometimes I had to say a lot. Sometimes I was waffling and I had to be told too much. But definitely we have our departments, we have our department leads, and the job is to find those people to make them comfortable enough to make decisions. And sometimes we've had challenges along this one in terms of athletes, in terms of medical and physio, in terms of being able to perform and selection criteria and all these things that go into it. So I guess in a broad sense, it's project management. But again, the success of a championship like this comes down to the people you have with you. And in this instance, with the staff from the Institute of Sport, my job's been somewhat easy in terms of the team around you. And so, yeah, a chef de mission is a funny title sometimes, and I guess I look at it as a manager, but as a person within the team. If something needs to be done, thinking this a successful team doesn't necessarily have a hierarchy. Sometimes it has people who are prepared to do what it takes. In terms of even my own role in cycling, I was in the feed zones this time, lending support when and where is needed. Sometimes you wish you could do more. I come from a performance background, but there's a line sometimes you have to step back from and let people do their own work. In the different sports, it's been really interesting for me just how they work together, how some sports are possibly ahead of other sports in terms of their own organisation, and how they even conduct themselves in terms of selection and those sort of things. And in that role then, it's about bringing those sports together and letting those performance directors or those team leaders learn from each other. So I think we've had on this trip very productive learning sessions. Some of the more less experienced people have been able to be surrounded by good experience. We've had some people like Jackie Frayne, who's been to loads and loads of games. In our back room we have people like Martin Burke and Linda O'Reilly, who've been to more Olympic Games than anyone. So behind the team, there's the team behind the team. And although I was given a fancy title this time, it's definitely much big team effort. And the success and the failure of a team sometimes, or someone getting to the track and performing, is that team behind the team. Sometimes we speak about high performance sport, but we don't sometimes speak about high performance admin. And admin's a boring word sometimes, but I think the good teams and the good athletes get good confidence from good admin behind the scenes, and that's our role. And I think it's a role for Tokyo especially, that we can do a better job perhaps than ever before. And we have team people now and more people than before to do those jobs, and that can only give confidence to the athletes that when they need and they're required to do their job, then that they can do to the best of their ability.
In a nutshell.
Okay.
Thank you.